The U.S. military carried out another lethal airstrike against alleged drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean just over the weekend. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said a U.S. designated terrorist group was operating the vessel, but didn't name the group. 3 people were killed in that strike. The Trump administration justified the attacks as a necessary escalation to stop the flow of drugs into the U.S. But lawmakers, particularly Democrats, are demanding more information about the lethal justification for the strikes. President Trump discussed the operation with 60 Minutes correspondent Norah O'Donnell.
Is it about stopping narcotics, or is this about getting rid of President Maduro?
No, this is about many things. This is a country that allowed their prisons to be emptied into our country. To me, that would be almost number one, because we have other countries. Look, Mexico has been very bad to us in terms of drugs, okay? Very bad. We have a closed border right now. You probably noticed that for 5 months in a row, they have zero, think of this, 0 people coming into our country through our southern border.
On Venezuela in particular, are Maduro's days as president numbered?
I would say, yeah. I think so, yeah.
Okay, CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us live. Charlie, thank you for your time today. The president says war with Venezuela is not likely, but seen as U.S. military presence continues to grow off the coast of the country, is it completely off the table?
It's absolutely not completely off the table, Mugo. They are preparing for military action in the biggest flex that the U.S. military has. They're sending the USS Gerald R. Ford, which is the largest and most advanced aircraft carrier in the world, to that region. There will be a number of destroyers, battleships that are going in, some rotating out, but you're going to see a full forward posture of a kind that you might typically see ahead of conflict in the Middle East by sending out that carrier. It'll be bristling with F-18 fighter jets. There are F-35s that are already there. There's a submarine in the neighborhood. There are at least 5 destroyers. There are tankers, cruisers, all kinds of weapons. And when you speak to the Pentagon, when you can speak to the Pentagon, they will tell you it's a planning organization, right? And they are providing these kind of tools because ultimately that chain of command goes up to the defense secretary and then, of course, to the commander-in-chief. So what the Pentagon does, in fact, they do this every day, no matter where they may be planning military action, is to provide the right kind of package for the right kind of job. An aircraft carrier in drug interdiction has certainly raised eyebrows. It can be used, it can be very effective for surveillance. You know, it's very good for troop protection, but largely what you're going to bring a carrier in is a deterrent against a near-peer enemy, or like the Houthi bombing campaign. So they're definitely preparing for whatever may happen, and it's a strike package that looks like land strikes. But if President Trump wants to say that Venezuela is not on the cards to have airstrikes, he's kind of oscillating each way. And this is part of the optics that we get out of the Trump administration and from the defense secretary.
Yeah. And Charlie, President Trump is also threatening military action in Nigeria over alleged persecution of Christians. Now, full disclosure, I am from Nigeria, born and raised, and this is kind of a nuanced and complicated issue because this group, Boko Haram, is concentrated mostly in the Northeast, and they target not just Christians, but Muslims and people of other faiths as well. So can you dig a little deeper into this and what we could see here in terms of military action?
Yeah, exactly right. You're a better placed expert than I am, but he went further than that. He said mass slaughter is how he put it. And the Nigerian president obviously wasn't happy to be singled out. He did say he's willing to work with the United States to sort of stem extremism in Nigeria. Nigeria had, this is important too, has been placed, actually I should say replaced, on a U.S. list of, quote, particular concerned countries. That list includes North Korea, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Pakistan, and China, so not a group you want to be singled out in. So, as you said, Boko Haram has leveled atrocities pretty much across all kinds of religious and ethnic borders. Christians, yes, but other Muslims that they are disagreeing with, I guess is a way to put it. And the United States, along with African partners, have been engaged now and then. Not everything is reported here because a lot of the work that's going on there in terms of counterterrorism and stemming extremism is under the auspices of Special Operations Forces. So we don't necessarily hear everything that's going on there, but there is a sort of military footprint there already. Not a big one, by the way. In fact, the United States has reduced its presence in Africa. AFRICOM, which is the command center, isn't even based in Africa. It's actually based in Germany. So again, as we were talking about Venezuela, if you're going to come up with the idea, the specter of some sort of nuclear, or excuse me, not nuclear, military activity in that region, you're going to want to put the pieces in place to do that. But if you're talking about drone strikes or even airstrikes, certainly Nigeria is within reach of that. Getting boots on the ground, that's an entirely different matter.
Yeah. Charlie D'Agata, thank you so much for your insight. Appreciate your time today.